like to welcome everyone to the regular scheduled board meeting of the President and Board of Trustees of Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will County, held on Tuesday, February 4, 2025, beginning at 6:04 p.m. If everyone could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and then when we're done, if you could just stay standing for a second, I appreciate it. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we bow our heads and ask you to bless the souls and with open arms receive those who have died in this horrible, horrible plane crash, not only in Washington, D.C., but in Philadelphia. The children that have a lifetime ahead of them, give their parents the strength to accept their unbelievable loss, okay? And those who are on the medical airplane trying to help others as first responders always do. We ask this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Trustee Brady. Madam Clerk, you please call the roll.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Brennan?
Present.
Trustee Mahoney?
Present.
Trustee Mueller?
Here.
Trustee Shaw?
Present.
Trustee Sullivan?
Here.
President Glass?
Present. Item number 1, is there a motion to consider approval of the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Roll call for item 1, Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item number 2. Is there a motion to consider approval of the minutes of the public hearing and regular village board meetings held on January 21st, 2025?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 2, Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number 3, receive presentation of the Tinley Park Business Spotlight from Hawaii Fluid Art by President Glotz and Clerk O'Connor. Clerk, you want to take this?
Hawaii Fluid Art, located at 17200 Oak Park Avenue in Unit 104, guides seasoned and inexperienced artists alike through the process of creating beautiful and unique artwork, one-of-a-kind tumblers, and more. Please join me in welcoming Dave and Patrice from Hawaii Fluid Art.
Brought a little demonstration of something that we do.
Beautiful.
Oh, hi, I am Patrice O'Toole. I'm one of the owners of Hawaii Fluid Art, and we really appreciate being invited here today.
So we're very excited. We're approaching our second year here in Tinley Park. For those of us that had not had the opportunity to come and visit our studio yet, not only do we have an art studio, we also have a gallery and a storefront located at 172nd in Oak Park, right across the street from the VFW. And we're an interactive art studio, and we teach you how to get creative. So everyone is an artist at Hawaii Fluid Art, and not only do we make fluid art pour paintings that require no experience, we also specialize in teaching step-by-step classes for glass painting, mosaics, tumblers, vases, charcuterie boards, wine glasses, beach scenes, and we can do paintings from as small as 1 foot by 1 foot canvases or as big as 6 foot canvases. So if you're interested in coming in for a date night, a ladies' night, or if you want to bring the entire family and make the family room artwork for the family, by the family, that's exactly what Hawaii Fluid Art is all about. So we appreciate being a part of the community and look forward to being a part of it for many more years to come. So thank you very much for the support.
Thanks for being here.
Do us a favor, turn it around so everybody in the audience can see it. There you go.
And we also encourage, we supply everything that you need. But if you have your own memories from like shark's teeth or your own sand from your own memories for shells or anything like that, or even charms, bring them in and we'll make that painting your memories. And we also encourage you to write something commemorative on the back, because when you go to move that, you're going to have that great memory. So we truly appreciate this opportunity. We love how Tinley Park has been working with us and for us. Really, they want us to succeed, and we feel that, and we appreciate it. So you're all officially invited into our studio.
So you supply everything except talent.
In that, we walk you through step by step, so absolutely no experience is needed, and truly, everyone is an artist. We work with all ages and all abilities, and we love the surprise. Not only are people shocked when they walk in and actually see our store, but they're even more shocked when they see the quality of their own artwork. So if I can do it, anyone can do it, and we look forward to getting creative with you.
And what are the hours?
We are open Tuesday through Sunday. We open 12 o'clock every day. We're open till 7 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday nights, so you can come in late. And then we have 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock on Sundays. And you can book or you can walk in. And we always encourage if you want to come by yourself, or we can host up to about 40 people. So it's great for team building.
And the last weekend in February, we're actually going to be starting our Sensory Sundays, where we're going to just let anybody come on in, use our studio for up to an hour's time. And again, we're going to walk everybody through step by step through that creative process. But it's definitely a safe zone, and we've gotten a ton of great feedback for Sensory Sundays already. So we're looking forward to enroll in that, and like I said, being a part of the community for many more years to come. So thank you all for the support. Looking forward to seeing you all in our studio if you haven't been there soon.
Great,
I think you should pat yourself on the back, because not only are you an awesome business, but you are wonderful to the community. So if you want to talk about your award that you received last week at the Tinley Park Chamber of Commerce, I think you deserve that
Oh,
recognition.
thank you.
You wanna
Yes.
Tell everybody what you received.
Oh, well, this is our second year that we actually received an award. We're truly appreciative. We were the first year, we were the member, I think
New
it was
member of the year.
the new member of the year, and then this year we were the volunteer of the year. We love going out. We attend the ribbon cuttings. We attend the first year. Any type of events afterwards, like the Oktoberfest. We definitely like to try and volunteer to give our time. We love supporting other businesses. We have tried to reach out, and every month we try and reach out to a new business so we can collaborate with them. For instance, working with restaurants, we ask people, what are you doing after this? If you want to go to a restaurant, we work with like Ed and Joe's, Isabella's, The Scoop. We have their coupons, they have ours, so we're trying to really boost up each other and share. And SIP, we work with SIP, we work with all kinds of places. We're really trying to encourage about walking around. We love the benches. We know that there's that big development about a block from us, so we're super excited.
I think the biggest reward for our collaborations has definitely got to be with all of our nonprofit organizations. We love working with CLS, Painted Turtle, Project Fire Buddies. There have been so many great organizations, and we haven't even had a chance to work with everyone yet. So we're looking forward to, like I said, growing more relationships and making more beautiful artwork. So if you say you're not an artist, come on in to Hawaii Fluid Art, and we will prove you wrong. And you can show off your beautiful artwork, and we look forward to that.
And we also work with fundraising. So if you want to collaborate with us about fundraising, we do give back. We also offer, we work with a lot of the schools and the PTOs and Girl Scouts, all the nonprofits we offer donations. We also offer paintings to encourage them for their raffles or their auctions. So if you're interested, please contact Dave or myself, and we will definitely work with you guys to collaborate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Number 4, trustee Brennan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to conduct a swearing-in ceremony for firefighters.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Thank you, trustee Sullivan. I'm going to ask the clerk, Clerk O'Connor, to swear in the following firefighter: Scott Richards.
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
the ordinances of the Village of Tinley Park,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of firefighter
the duties of firefighter
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God. You guys want to come face the figures?
Gotcha, thank you.
The board, please, come on up. You stay here. No, the board. Yeah.
Send them those pictures over there. So be able to get your hands on one. Ready? Got it, thank you.
All right. One more, all the firefighters, come on up. Sorry, we're not getting out of it. Good, good. There we go.
Somebody want to go up in the back? Somebody want to go in the back, stand up in the back?
Give us something around the back.
You're welcome to it. Go ahead. Go hard back. Glad you listened to something.
That's much better, thank you. All right, ready?
Oh, no, that's for me, I gotta put, you know.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I saw you had a schedule tomorrow. Thursday.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call for item 4, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes,
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Item number 5, trustee Sullivan.
thank you. Consider proclaiming 2025 as the year of the VFW in honor of the VFW's invaluable contributions to the veteran community in Tinley Park and around the world.
I'll second that.
Oh, sorry.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Okay. So, discussion, consider proclaiming 2025 as the year of the VFW in the village of Tinley Park. I will go ahead and read the proclamation. Hold on. Recognizing the contributions of the National Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW, on its 125th anniversary. Whereas the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States was founded in 1899 in Columbus, Ohio, by returning veterans of the Spanish-American War seeking to commemorate the This is really small. I gotta switch, I'm sorry. I can't read this. It's so small. My eyes are terrible. Let me go back to my proclamation. There we go. Okay, this is better. Sorry. I'm getting old.
I tell you to put your glasses on.
They're on. I got it. Yeah, well, there we go.
All right, take two.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, the Veteran of Foreign Wars of the United States was founded in 1899 in Columbus, Ohio by returning veterans of the Spanish-American War seeking to commemorate the service of their comrades and to care for those veterans who returned maimed and broken. And whereas the VFW is a non-profit veteran service organization comprised of eligible veterans and service members from the active, guard, and reserve forces. And whereas the VFW's mission is to foster camaraderie among United States veterans of overseas conflict, to serve the veterans, the military, and our communities, and to advocate on behalf of all veterans. And whereas the VFW has played a vital role in virtually every significant piece of veterans legislation passed in the 20th and 21st centuries, to include the Honoring Our Pact Act, the most significant expansion of veterans' benefits in history. And whereas the Illinois Cognitive Resources Network strive to leverage strengths of the Alzheimer's Association chapter serving Illinois Alzheimer's Disease Assistance Centers and organizations in the aging, disability, and public health networks to optimize the cognitive and functional well-being of Illinois residents and their families. And whereas the VFW is currently celebrating its 125th anniversary year, having started on its birthday, September 29, 2024, and ending during its 126th National Convention at its birthplace in Columbus, Ohio, on August 13th, the anniversary of the fall of Manila, PI, as well as the signing of the armistice that ended fighting in Puerto Rico. And now, therefore, be it resolved by the President, Clerk, and Board of Trustees of the Village of Tinley Park, Cook and Will Counties, Illinois, that the Village of Tinley Park do hereby proclaim 2025 as the year of the VFW, in honor of the VFW's invaluable contributions to the veteran community in Tinley Park and around the world. We hereby stand with the VFW to ensure that veterans are respected for their service, always receive their earned entitlements, and are recognized for their sacrifices they and their loved ones had made on behalf of this great country. Adopted this 4th day of February 2025. Signed by Mayor Michael Glatz, Clerk O'Connor, Trustees Brady, Trustee Brennan, Trustee Mahoney, Trustee Mueller, and Trustee Shaw, and myself, Trustee Sullivan. Thank you.
How y'all doing? For those who don't know me, I'm the commander of the VFW in Tinley Park. Next month, we have been serving Tinley Park for 85 years. And as you see, for national, we've been serving it for over 125 years. Our mission is nothing but to serve our veterans and whatever their needs are. And that's what we do. That's our mission. And I want to thank the mayor and the village for all the support that you have given us. We're very involved with your community. We go to all your schools. We go to all your parades. I guess you got one coming up soon. So we're here for you, and I hope you're here for me, okay? And like I said, we've been at this spot for 85 years. I don't know how much longer we're going to be there. It's up to you, village. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, we're going to get a picture. Yeah. Oh, man. You earned your money, didn't you? I did.
All right, who wants to accept this?
to take 2 photos here, so do this one. And there's one more. Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, dear.
We'll see you next Wednesday.
Yes, you will. When we gonna meet?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. There you go, Roger.
John? He left, because that's what I was gonna ask you, Roger.
There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it. All right, yes. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. All right, Pat. We want to see you at the meeting. All right, thank you.
Bye, Fred.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Tell them when we're gonna meet.
What?
When we're gonna meet.
I'd like to request everybody stand up and give these brave men a round of applause for what they did for our country, the greatest generation.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Roll call for item 5, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 6. Can I have a motion to please consider the following commission appointment for 2025 fiscal year?
So moved?
I will second.
Thank you. We'd like to appoint Ralph Palatano to the Marketing Commission. Ralph is not with us. Are there any questions about Ralph? No. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 6, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 7. Can I have a motion, please, to consider appointing Shannon Shorey to the position of Police Clerk Matron?
I will make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Shannon has nearly 24 years of police records experience working for municipal police departments in positions with increasing levels of responsibility. She is experienced with the records division functions and holds various certifications, including leads, full access, and FOIA officer. Please consider appointing Shannon to the position of Police Clerk Matron effective February 10th, 2025. Any questions, comments from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll on Shannon.
Roll call for item 7, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 8. I'd like to ask the board for a motion to consider appointing Gianna Angelo to the position of Police Clerk Matron.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Gianna has nearly 4 years of related experience working for a security firm in local courthouse in customer service and administrative roles. She is familiar with police records operations and eager to continue to grow her career in police operations. Gianna holds a bachelor's degree in forensic criminal investigation and criminal justice. Please consider appointing Gianna to the position of Police Clerk Matron effective February 10th, 2025. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on Gianna?
Roll call for item 8, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 9. Please consider appointing Amy Callan to the position of Police Clerk Matron.
So moved?
I will second.
Thank you. Amy has over 8 years of related customer service focusing on sales, marketing, and administrative duties. She is familiar with working in a fast-paced environment and holds an Associate of Applied Science degree. I'd like to ask the board to please consider appointing Amy to the position of Police Clerk Matron effective February 10th, 2025. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll on Amy.
Roll call for item 9, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 10. May I have a motion to consider approval of the consent agenda items?
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Thank you. Consent agenda items have been publicly posted and available for review on the agenda for this meeting. Would any of the board members like to remove any of these items? Let the record reflect there are none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 10, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 11. Please consider adopting ordinance 2025-0-004, amending Title 11, Chapter 112, Section 22, permitted number of liquor licenses, Class AV1, Durbins of Tinley Park, 17327 Oak Park Avenue.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Thank you. Durbins of Tinley Park has approached the mayor's office seeking a Class AV1 for a planned establishment at 17327 Oak Park Avenue. This item was discussed at the committee of the whole held prior to this meeting. This ordinance is eligible for adoption. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 11, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 12, trustee Dennis Mahoney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move we consider adopting Resolution 2025-R-008, approving a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and the City Escape Garden and Design, LLC, for lawn maintenance services.
I'll make the motion. Oh, I'll second. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Thank you. Consider approving a contract with City Escape Garden and Design, LLC, for lawn maintenance services. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole meeting held prior to this meeting. This resolution is eligible for adoption.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on City Escape Garden and Design? No. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for item 12, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item 13, trustee Mahoney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move we consider ordinance 2025-0-003, granting a variation from the zoning ordinance to allow a deck within the required front yard at 7542 163rd Place.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. The variation from section 3-3.h.1 of the zoning ordinance allows a deck within the required front yard. The Plan Commission held a public hearing on January 16th, 2025, and voted 1-4 to recommend denial of the variation with the plans and findings of fact as noted in the staff report. This ordinance is eligible for first reading.
Are there any questions or comments from the board?
I'll just mention, I spoke with trustee Mueller about this briefly earlier. I like the look of this. I think this is a good look, kind of modernizes the way that the actual house looks. Kind of, it brings it, you know, gives that more modern look to these houses. I understand that the Plan Commission liked that as well, but a lot of them weren't willing to bend on the the variation. So, but I think I would be in favor of something like this. I think it kind of gives a more modern, updated look to the neighborhood too, and I don't think it's too drastic of a change. So, I would be okay with this one.
I feel the same way. Looking at the before and after plans, it's just taking over the area where there was large bushes. It does have more of a porch feel to me. I think we're kind of splitting hairs calling it a deck compared to a porch, and that seems to be what the code issue is here. And I did read the petitioner's comments about, you know, the submittal of the paperwork and everything, and they are under the impression that it was permit was part of her contract, and, I don't know, it looks really nice, and just looking over in this section for standards of variation, that's section D, it doesn't, so my big thing where it says the proposed variation will not impair an adequate supply of light or air to the adjacent property or substantially increase the congestion in the public streets or increase the danger to fire and danger. So there's no public safety issue, there's nothing. It's just just a small word of porch versus, I don't know, it has a porch feel to me, so I'm fine with this. I don't see any reason to deny this request.
Trustee Mueller?
Yeah, I went and visited the property today, watched the Plan Commission meeting. I completely agree with what's been said so far. I think there's no negative impact to the surrounding properties. I think if we take a look at that neighborhood holistically, like this would be a great addition to a lot of the houses out there and really kind of increase the vibe. Really unfortunate that the homeowners had the problem with the contractor. We should put a public service announcement out there about like, don't trust your contractor, unfortunately, in this day and age. But it's just eligible for first read today, so I'll be putting it through first read. We already spoke about how I think we could probably change some of the zoning requirements there, and especially for this particular neighborhood, to allow for these types of things and not be an undue burden with just variation requests to the community development office. So, like I said, it's just first read today, so I'll be seeing it through first read.
Very good.
And I
Anybody
just
else?
wanted to add to that, I have total respect for the Plan Commission, and, I understand that they're voting based on the ordinance of it, and I know we've always had exceptions to the rules with that, and I'm glad that there is a topic, the subject of going in and changing this code because this is a perfect example why we change things when we cross that bridge when we get to it. So, so no disrespect to the Plan Commission on their decision, but, sometimes we don't always, have a little wiggle room with this one, so just want to say my piece with that, so,
Very good.
yeah.
I think you're being nice because we brought Big Eddie.
Oh, you're Big Eddie?
I think that,
He brought the big hitters tonight. Anyone else?
Just, I have to agree with my colleagues. I think it looks nice. I go for the variation. I think it adds to the community. And as Trustee Mueller said, maybe others might be able to do it to their house to make it improvement as well.
Anyone else? Trustee Shaw?
boy, I should have chimed in first because much of what they said, I was gonna say, but it's not worth repeating, but worth emphasizing. First off, I want to state, similar to what Trustee Sullivan said, the plan, in my opinion, the Plan Commission was correct. Their vote followed our current codes, and that's their role. So I think that their result was correct. There's a big however coming up in there. I agree with my fellow trustees over here. One of the big concerns for me, and it's something outside of this that we need to continue to address, is the whole do what I want and then ask for forgiveness later. We've taken a hard stance with some other properties in town for that exact same thing. Having read the report and seen the Plan Commission meeting, I do know the extenuating circumstances here. And I think, interestingly enough, with our increased data quality and capabilities with our new ERP system, I think we have a lot of opportunities here to be far more proactive on these sorts of things. I think that the addition here absolutely enhances not only the house but the neighborhood. It improves the character. There are a couple of neighborhoods in particular that we've talked about many times here, Brementown and Parkside, for one, where I think they just have a certain special character that requires a little bit of nuance there. I'm a huge advocate of porch culture. I think that it really adds to the community, and the community being together, and this definitely supports that. And I do think that we can be, we can look at the zoning, we can look at how we carve out, not necessarily exceptions, but more leeway for something like this. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Dennis?
No, I agree with the comments that were made here, so no need to repeat. I think it's a good addition, add-on to the home, to the neighborhood. Yeah, I think it brings a lot to the neighborhood, like a more home feeling. It looks really nice to the home, a good addition to the home. So I would agree with the comments that have been made up here, so.
You know, kind of repeat what a lot of you have said, but there's a lot of pros and cons with this. I'm glad that you guys feel the way you do. It is going to open up a huge can of worms for the code. But for this particular situation, what I don't like is the fact that, again, we have one of our neighbors, our residents, coming to us because they got lied to by a contractor, right? So how do we hold them more accountable and protect our homeowners? The house is absolutely beautiful, and the amount of money put into it, I'd much rather his family stay with his neighbors than take the money he would have put into it and maybe move to a different part of town, or maybe even moved out of town. And, you know, the fact that you got his neighbors coming here to support him as well. I get it, you know, what if, let's take Eddie, for example, he reached out to me. What if he moved and a new neighbor comes in and they don't like it? I think it looks great. It's just sad the whole way this process went down. If I lived over there, would I want my porch to look like that? Absolutely, right? We just gotta make sure that front sidewalk, he doesn't park cars on it. But we have to find a way to hold these contractors more accountable that just come in and just outright lie to the residents. You feel bad, the residents should know, but, you know, just like we teach our kids, we try to put faith into people. They think they're doing the right thing, they sign a contract, they sit down with them, you know, they're believing what they say. I'm sure they gave other references, other houses they showed that, look at this, and they're like, oh, wow, this is gonna work out really well, and then they find out later that, you know, they get a knock on the door and they get red tagged to stop, and the project's almost, you know, substantially complete, right? So, again, the Plan Commission did everything 100% right. I agree with what they did because that's their job, to follow the code, and then it comes here and we kind of have to make, you know, those changes. They're a recommending body, which they're a great recommending body, but I agree completely with the board. I mean, and it looks great. So hopefully other people will want to then invest. Maybe this will be like, you know, kind of like a Parkside, but better contractor, where, from the past, where, you know, maybe more neighbors will want to kind of start doing the same thing. And so instead of them moving, instead of them going to a different part of Tinley and their kids lose their friends, they go to a different school, or maybe they go to Mokina, they stay right in Tinley Park, and that's what we do, right? Everything we do is for our residents and our businesses. So as much I support the code, following it, but you look at it, I mean, it's night and day. It looks like a totally different house, and it's, to have a porch like that, it's too bad your contractor didn't do things right, because he probably would have picked up a lot of work on your block from seeing this. So I think he missed out. It was his loss. Hopefully it's turned out the way that you want it. But I would be supportive of it too, but we gotta come up with stricter policies when this happens to really ding the contractors for this kind of stuff, because it's just, you know, they're not experts, right? If he was an expert, he would have built it himself, so you trust contractors. So.
You know, on that note, Mr. Mayor, Jason may know this number, but I think we have roughly 20-something thousand properties in the town. It'd be almost impossible for us to have an education campaign. But if we really start to break down those 20,000, we don't have that many homes in the town that would fall into this kind of, this particular age group, where there's this opportunity to do this kind of thing. People with a newer home, they're not gonna be doing this, right? So I think if we really sat down and thought about it, we could be pretty proactive. And if, folks who unfortunately have gone through this, speak their mind and educate their neighbors as much as possible. I think we have an opportunity to get ahead of this kind of stuff in the future.
Okay. Did you have something, Dan, or were you yawning?
Oh, no,
You're yawning, Jason.
everybody's,
Or Jason, I mean.
yeah. No, I think the new ERP system will give us extra checks and balances too, especially as we move more digital versus paper. That, we can have more authority to make sure emails go to the owners, to make sure they got a permit or things like that. We can come up with a bunch of other strategies to make sure these types of things work. And just so you know, everyone's opinion out here gives staff a good idea when we go for a zoning code rewrite. We're finishing up this comp plan. It's going to inform, hopefully, our next big projects, which will be rewriting the zoning code. And in situations like this, we don't want to bring variances ever. So we should have our code do it right the first time. And this could be these front decks, porches, things. We can redefine them, make sure they're at the right scale. And we want to reinvest in the homes in the community anyway, not just for the next few years, but the next 20, 30 years, and which is kind of what the comp plan is calling for too. So all this is just being taken down as something we have directive now to, look at when we start doing our next big project.
Yeah, and we don't have the answers. I don't know if maybe it's too big, maybe you could even go bigger with it. I think that's something that you guys need to discuss internally. But I do think that what they did is going to set a pattern in that neighborhood, because then someone's gonna come home and the wife's gonna be sitting out on their porch, but they wanna sit out on their porch, and so then they're gonna be saying, hey, Eddie, I want one, right? And so then it could become like a Calgon commercial. We normally, for first reading, don't allow petitioners to speak. But if there's anything you'd like to add, I'd be more than welcome to let the petitioner or your best spokesman say something. You guys have anything you'd like to add? You want to come to the mic and speak?
Well, just thank you. I think we're learning a lot through this process, and as you said, as a homeowners, I think this has been a hard lesson, and putting your trust, like you said, into somebody and kind of being taken advantage of. Through the Planning Commission, Jason and Michael have been wonderful in kind of guiding us and what our options are, and I think we feel like we're valued citizens in the community, just hearing some of the comments you hear and not treating us just like an address on a street that broke a rule. So we enjoy living in Tinley Park. That's why we added this to our home, and we want to stay and meet our neighbors and all of that. So I do think that this would be great if we can continue to keep this as is. We think it's beautiful too, and we would die to take it down now that it's so close to done. But we appreciate the guidance we've had through this process, and we're just hopeful that it can help improve not only our home value, the neighborhood value, and help us stay right here in Tinley Park. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, if there's nothing else, we could vote, and then it will come back on the 18th of February. So we did that last time, didn't it? Do you want to make a motion didn't we make a motion last time on that? And-
It's, the motion is written to approve it right now, so
Okay.
we're okay.
All right, so
Quick question, do we have the ability to waive first reading?
only if it would have been 5-0.
Okay, all right,
Since you had a no vote, it doesn't allow it.
yeah.
So whoever that no vote is,
It would be a motion for us we already drafted the ordinances because we're just trying to be ahead. It would be a motion to draft an ordinance for approval.
Okay.
okay, you want to take it? You want to take it, Mike?
Right,
Make a
so-
motion? Or we already did that?
But we are-
So, yeah, we already did. So, Madam Clerk,
Yeah.
call the roll for item 13.
We'll go for item 13. Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion approved 6-0, so it will come back on the 18th, if you'd like to come back, for a second reading. Sorry, it's just because there was one no vote. We amended the code years ago when Paula Walrick was here to allow that if it was unanimous, we could bypass first reading, but it doesn't allow us because there was one no vote. So,
There was only one yes vote.
I mean, one, yes, yeah. Sorry. But anyway, but congratulations. I think it looks beautiful. Sorry you went through that. And hopefully a lot of other neighbors will be doing it. You have the Christmas lights. Scott O'Connor can do the next one then on the block. Item 14, trustee Mueller.
I move we consider adopting resolution 2025-R-006, approving a contract between the Village of Tinley Park and Jetco LTD for the post-11 water tower rehabilitation construction.
I'll second. You just need a second, right?
You guys can leave if you want. You guys can leave. Go. Did you get a second?
I second.
All right, go ahead.
Please consider approving a contract with Jetco LTD in the amount of $1,357,883. This item was discussed at the Committee of the Whole held just prior to this meeting and is eligible for adoption.
Thank you, Mike. Are there any questions from the board? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Roll call for item 14, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next, we have item number 15, receive comments from staff. Any comments? Do you have any comments? Actually, John, do you want to make a comment and give an update on the meeting, or no? Or you want to just wait until?
I'll wait.
Okay. Item 16, receive comments from the board.
I have a comment, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Going through the neighborhood, of course, and always worried about taxpayers' dollars, as I am a taxpayer as the rest of us are. I was wondering what it would cost, or what it has cost taxpayers, for all the signs and banners that are up on going east and west on 183rd Street and going north and south on Harlem Avenue that surrounds the mental health center cleanup. It seems like a lot of waste of money to have 30, 40 signs out there. I never had a chance to stop to see them and count them.
It's 110.
110, thank you, Mr. Mayor, 110 signs up there. It seems to be a lot of waste of taxpayers' dollars, and we're always concerned about taxpayer dollars. Just wondering about that.
You could contact the board president, Murray Ryan.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'd like to make a comment too. Bill, I'm glad you brought that up. As many of us do, we drive that route over there on 183rd and Harlem there. You know, being a past board member or commissioner on the Park District, the Park District serves and does a lot of great things for our community. And what we always try to boast and do is be 100% responsible with the taxpayers' dollars, okay? Looking at the signage, being in the construction industry for over 25 years myself, I've never seen more pats on the back or more names from the individuals on the board or a project manager labeled on a construction site. I've never, ever, ever, ever seen that before. Normally it's the company, it would be the Park District, and that would be it. So in my opinion, this is obviously used as a political task on the taxpayers' backbone here. So I just think about, I'd like people to think about that as well, right? Responsibility, that's what we boast, and we trust our officials to use our taxpayers' money wisely, right? In my opinion, I think that is very irresponsible. I think it's gaudy. It's too much. 110 signs along the fence there. Just think about that, right? It doesn't look right. It doesn't seem right, so.
With the labor for it.
Yeah, and the labor alone, it's ludicrous. I can't even imagine right now. You're probably talking tens of thousands of dollars just to put up signage. Again, on the taxpayers, okay? It's a slap in the face to anybody that's paying tax dollars to the park district. And it's irresponsible. Again, it is, I'm gonna repeat myself again. It's irresponsible, okay? And I'll just leave it at that, so thank you.
And before you go, Ken, can I just add the project manager, who they, Maloney, there's 25 of him on there. Go ahead, Ken.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A lot of folks have a lot of things to say tonight. Laura, I'm going to be fair here and ask that you start the timer on me.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Talk away.
She's not kidding.
I'm going to try and be quick, and I'm going to say up front that there's a reason why I think this is going to take a while. There you go. All right. I happen to have a full-time job, and I want to speak on what I call legislative hubris. We have a couple of state officials here. I'll name names, Senator Mike Hastings and Representative Bob Rita. I think they are fine examples of what I call legislative hubris. I have it up here on the screen, but that's when lawmakers are essentially abusing their legislative powers for whatever their motives, and basically what it does is what you end up with is that it's a total disregard for the good government, representative government, disregard for any practical limitations or consequences of the laws they're passing. As I said, I have a full-time job, and it is more than a full-time job. And we have lobbyists who keep track of this stuff. It is more than a full-time job just to keep track of everything these guys are doing. I am not going to read everything I have on this. I wanted to run through just a couple of things that these guys have been doing just recently. And this doesn't include all of the legislation that they rammed through at the last minute to remove home rule authority from the village, any sort of oversight for the mental health center. I'm setting that one aside. Can you go to the next page here? These are just 4 bills that Senator Mike Hastings introduced recently. My sincere hope is that these are so outrageous and egregious that they don't go anywhere. But what these do is they give an indication of where the guy's mind is at. And I'm going to summarize to the best of my ability the problems that are common across these. But the first one here is Tax Increment Financing and Zoning Ethics and Political Contributions Prohibition Act. Most of the ones that are in here, the stated purpose sounds good. It's to increase transparency and accountability. All that stuff sounds really great. Almost every single one of the, can you go back to that? We'll get to Bob Reed in a moment. Almost every single one of these are very troubling for a number of reasons, not the least of which is they continue to chip away at local representation. We're a village board. We are closest to the people of Tinley Park. In my opinion, that's good government. By removing home rule authority from the village of Tinley Park, they're essentially replacing it with their authority. They're further away from the people. They're less responsive to the people. Their interests are not the interests. They're not aligned with the interests of the village of Tinley Park. That's one of the problems. Just this first one here, tax increment financing and zoning ethics. In a nutshell, what this does is it severely hinders the village's ability to use TIF districts, as the Village of Tinley Park has, to help promote and bring development to town. All the wonderful new businesses and development that we've had has, in large part, been because we've been successful with TIF districts. A lot of the infrastructure that has happened downtown to help with flooding and just preparing for the development would never happen without TIF districts. What this act does here is it would, setting aside the common theme here of unfunded mandates, they're putting down mandates to the local community, but not paying for it. So the village is gonna be faced with spending all sorts of money on compliance, on new systems for tracking various things, training, not to mention these are gonna be facing legal challenges, so there's legal expenses all over the place. This one here in particular, and the second one, 1355. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to request additional time.
The board, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Go ahead.
Thank you. That's all right. I'm gonna try and speed this up so you guys see where I'm going with it.
There's no
No, that's all right, that's all right.
You can stop it now since they made a motion to extend it. Laura, you can stop it.
So, a common theme here is unfunded mandates, pushing it down. It's a power grab, reducing or eliminating authority and power here at the local level and pulling it up to themselves. Both 1354, 1355, as well as 1356, all of those are troubling for other reasons. Anytime you get into political contributions and you prohibit people and businesses from exercising their First Amendment right to give a political contribution, that's troubling. When you treat one group of people differently from another group of people, that's also troubling. I think that's the 14th Amendment, Equal Protection Clause. All of these are going to be facing, if they even pass, they're going to be facing all sorts of legal challenges. If they get passed and they get signed by the governor and they're forced upon us, it's just going to cost the village all sorts of money, and it's going to eliminate the village's ability and public officials' ability to be close to the people and to continue on as we have been in representing the people. And what it does is it takes away power from local officials and it pulls it up to themselves. So without going into all the details on these, Senator Mike Hastings, we can see where his mind's at on this. Really quick, for Senator Bob Rita, believe me, he didn't only submit two. I just pulled out two to highlight. These are troubling. I don't know where his mind's at on this. He seems to be diving a little deeper into zoning. The ironic thing is these two bills here, I personally, actually, the content of them and what they cover, I happen to agree with them in large part. The problem I have with it is this is not the proper place at the state level for them to be diving into this sort of thing. These are local zoning codes. And again, what this does here is it takes away our ability to be flexible and responsive to local developers, to the local community. It puts unfunded mandates on us. It takes away home rule authority here. It's essentially just stripping the power of the local officials, and our power is derived from the village of Tinley Park. So they're taking away home rule authority here, which is taking away the rights of the citizens. These here also are also very problematic, are likely to face legal challenges. That's assuming they even pass. I literally have about 30 pages here of analysis on these, and I'm going to be making that available somehow, somewhere. I just wanted to highlight this here. Next meeting, I'm probably gonna have about 15 more that they're gonna have there. These guys are nonstop. If these type of things didn't also affect other municipalities around the state, I would feel almost paranoid that I feel like they're targeting us. But this is very egregious. And if you go back to the first slide, I'm gonna hold that up again. Legislative hubris. Remember that phrase. Disgusting.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to add to that, these are the same elected officials that voted for the Safety Act at 4 o'clock in the morning?
You're exactly right.
Okay, my memory serves me correct. Thank
And
you.
they're proud of it, and they should be held responsible and accountable for it.
One thing I want to add to yours, Ken, before I get to mine, is the legislation stops everyone else other than legislators to receive a contribution, but all county officials, all elected officials, other than a Hastings or a Rita, are allowed to accept campaign contributions, which is completely odd.
I appreciate you highlighting that. Yeah, that was one of my things here. As I said, it's a power grab. I wish it weren't a fact, but it's a true fact that when you get into politics, your First Amendment right is in political contributions. Your money, that's how you can express your First Amendment right. And one of them in here, what it does is it takes away the ability of local officials at the local level to do fundraising so that you can run for office at the local level. And what it does is it doesn't exempt them. So what you end up with is they have the ability to raise money. At the local level, you don't. And what you end up with is they become power brokers, kings, and they control people at the local level because that's the only way you'll be able to run for office at the local level is if they give you the money.
So they'd be contributing to whoever they choose to.
Absolutely.
Candidates.
They would control all of the political fundraising, and they would decide who to give the funding to.
Well, if they felt that strong about it, why not include themselves in something like that?
It's a very good.
Bureaucracy.
Well, they're exempt from FOIA, too.
Can I say something before you do?
It's the old rules for thee, huh?
Absolutely.
Just, I'm going to be really quick. Dennis, you were curious as to how much the signs cost. It was $30,000. That was passed at the
$30,000.
last meeting.
$30,000,
Yeah, at the last
that's
Park
absurd.
District meeting.
That was the budget.
That was, right, that was the $30,000 of taxpayer money to put up their campaign signs.
It's a
They
substantial.
print the signs or the labor to put them up?
To print the signs.
Oh, okay, just print
To
The
print,
banners.
right.
the banners,
The
yeah.
110 banners on the fence around
That's
the
not
property.
including the labor to put them on.
I could go into numerous things about what's happening on the property, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. Other than to say that they don't have the remaining funds to finish the remediation. If anybody really looked and read their statement, it stated that they were going to demolish most of the buildings. They're not saying all. They're not saying all the parking lots. They're not, there's numerous things on the property that they are not demolishing because they don't have the money. They need another minimum of $13 million to complete that, and they don't have that. And that is why the senator and the state representative are running their own team because they need the village money. They will change the law that they first passed in order to take away our home rule. They're in the process. They're going to change that. And then they want to take this because they don't have the money to finish that property. And I'm just being real straight about all of this. I've known for quite a while that was their game plan. But what's probably most disturbing to me is if you go back to I believe it was 2018, that Bob Rita actually, it was 2014 that Mike Madigan chose Bob Rita to introduce gaming to the state of Illinois. He was handpicked and shown exactly how to do that and get that law passed. Since that time, he's become known as Bob the Casino King Rita. He has had his hand in a lot of gaming, the online gaming as well. He was behind that bill. It was actually him and Michael Hastings that introduced the casino, Racino here on the south side, and we're pushing it for the Tinley Park Mental Health Center. And then all of a sudden, things changed. We'd probably need an affidavit from this person to categorically state why it changed. So I'm not going to go into that part. However, word has come back to me that they talked about putting up a sports complex, but that's only on the western portion of the property, so where the house center was. I'm getting word from pretty good authority that on the balance of that property is most likely going to be a casino. And that is why they are changing the law, to revert it back and give home rule back, but only after, if their team gets in. If Bob Rita and Mike Hastings people are elected, then that law will pass. If not, it won't. Who knows what will happen to the property at that point, other than, I think this board has to seriously look at possibly passing a resolution to not allow a casino on the property. And that's it. That's all I have.
Thanks, Nance. I think that legislation involved giving them the right to, for them to merge a park district, a township, where Rubino is, and the village into one.
Yep. They want to control every aspect of our village, every aspect. And no one, they won't be answerable to anybody. So all you have to do is look at the laws, especially what Ken talked about, is how they are going to take complete control and cut out everyone, all residents. You will have no say, and your taxes will skyrocket, unfortunately. I'm done. Sorry.
Thanks, Nance. I want to address a couple things that Team Maloney is saying that's unfortunately coming from Hastings and Rita's running the whole thing. They let Maloney speak once at a press conference, and Hastings couldn't help himself. He kept wanting to step to the microphone because he couldn't even read a piece of paper. And Hastings just posted recently, so I hope you're watching tonight, Mike, about staffing levels, that we're lying about staffing levels. We're doing all these things to the community because we don't have enough police officers, we're understaffed. And this comes from the guy that Governor Pritzker asked him to step down because his wife reported that he put him in a headlock and used to bang her head off the door. And then the police report got out, and then he sues the police of Frankfurt, and then he files the Unsafety Act. So he is probably the most unfriendly to the police officers of all the legislators. And now he's trying to pass some stupid insurance policy that he knows absolutely nothing about. That's why, guys, the legislators should stay in their own lane. Hastings likes getting in other people's lanes. But we're gonna go to the false claims by Hastings, who has a lifetime of false claims. You go to the first page. So since the police staffing study was done in October 2017 by, I believe that was Chief Neubauer before Vandenberg fired him, we have authorized 18 additional positions. At the time of the police staffing study, authorized patrol levels were only at 64 patrol officers. So since 2019, when trustee Mueller and Bill Brennan and we had a majority on the board in 2019, we increased that. We were at the lowest levels under Vandenberg, and with this board, we went from 64 in 2019 to 77. That's an additional 13 patrol officers, and that doesn't even include all the extras we've been hiring because of retirements, getting hurt on the job. We've been having to replace them, and it comes roughly at $250,000 per officer. That includes the training, the squad, the salary, the benefits, the pension, their gear to keep them safe. And we've authorized over $3 million in patrol officer staffing alone since fiscal year 19. Not to mention additional 5 command positions we've added. So basically, we've hired an extra 18 people above the slate that Hastings put in 17 with Vandenberg, which was a disaster for Hastings, and then he abandoned them, so now he's trying it again 8 years later to see if he could get it right this time. So then, you go to the next one. So the officers, we had paid a fiscal year, these are the numbers, they include people that may have retired or been promoted within that year. So for example, fiscal year 25. We now currently have 72 filled positions out of 77 authorized, even though it shows 78 below. So if you look in fiscal year 18, it was at 60. The last year before we took control from Vandenberg, it went down to 58. Then you can see how it starts increasing from 60 to 63 to 67 to 68 to 71. And now we're going to be, now it's 78, especially since the passage of the Rita Hastings Unsafe Act. It isn't easy to hire public safety people anymore. They don't apply like they used to. We've had police officers, unfortunately, we've lost that have retired and found new careers because they were afraid to lose their house and because they weren't protected by the legislators anymore, or Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox. Luckily, we have Eileen O'Neill Burke. She's going to reverse all the wrongs that were done by Kim Fox. Every municipality is facing this same challenge, and unfortunately, many are worse off than Tinley in terms of staffing because we continue to emphasize and prioritize patrol officer hiring. Tinley is a career department. If you look at our officers' years of service, when a police officer comes to Tinley Park, they stay in Tinley until they retire. And based off the numbers of lateral hires, we've added since we started that process in 2021, which is 25 laterals, and we have 5 more currently in progress. And it shows that people want to leave other departments to come to Tinley Park, that are willing to leave their current department to do so. So that's that for that. Some of the other claims that they made were, during the current administration tenure, Tinley Park has had 3 police officers. Again, when it comes
Chiefs?
to,
Chiefs, you mean.
I'm sorry, chiefs. Thank you. Again, it's not true. This board's only on their second one. Chief Neubauer was fired by Vandenberg when he came in 2017, and then Walsh just left because that's just Walsh. 2022, Walsh was the one that quit because unfortunately because our village manager held him accountable, and Hastings asked our village manager and Pat Walsh to quit just to make us look bad, and then he would find him another job. Unfortunately, Matt's a political hire, so Matt did what he does. He went to the next job they got him at Indian Head Park. He went from 70-some officers to a whopping 9 in Indian Head Park. Pat stayed, didn't take his bullying. Thanks for that, Pat. And then they want to crack down on increased fees to property taxes. I don't know how they could decrease property taxes unless they take control of the school board, because the Village of Tinley Park has gone 2 years straight in a row where we don't raise property taxes because of all the development we brought in. So, again, just lying, blatantly lying. The only way they can control property taxes is to stop passing bad legislation that hurts communities, raises taxes, and they should probably try and take over then the assessor's office, because the assessor's office is the one that raises taxes, not the Village of Tinley Park. Garbage bills, another lie, just fear-mongering people. This board, if everyone remembers, we had to go out to rebid, and the last year before it went out to rebid, huge thank you to Homewood Disposal. They froze not only did they freeze the rates for an entire year when they legally could have increased it, then they came in and they lowered their price even more than what it originally was. So with the yearly increase and then the decrease, it was a huge decrease from what we used to pay. So thank you to this board for that, again, which is not true. And they keep talking about this, that's the only thing they have, is just to keep lying about this casino. They keep calling it a casino, but it's a racino. Casino is the other one where they get their money, their donations from in the Homewood now. No one on this board had anything to do with it. We didn't cut this deal in May of 2017 when they got on board. The developer already had renderings, which we've posted before. The renderings were completed, the second set were January of 2018, when I was a single trustee on my own. Vandenberg and the rest of the board, he had control of. And then Hastings and Rita started passing all the legislation in 2019. And Vandenberg's the one that called the special meeting in January 3rd of 2019. He had the special meeting where they are the ones that picked the developer for the mental health center, not this board. We never voted on it, we never picked them. That was chosen by Jake Vandenberg and his board through the direction of Hastings. Once they gave them the board, picked their developer, then Hastings and Rita started doing their legislation to pass for Orland Township. So it's unfortunate. This is the stuff we have to deal with these people. But if you look at their track record, everyone knows what they stand for. All you gotta do is Google their names. Instead of their, Governor Pritzker had it right. He should have resigned. Anyone that would think of laying a hand on a woman is disgusting. So that's all I have to say for the, I can't call him the good senator, but the bad senator and legislator who also just contributed. Senators who don't get involved in legislators just put $50,000 into Baloney Maloney's campaign. Anyone else on the board? Nope.
Not tonight.
Next we have item 17, receive comments from the public.
Hello again. So I do want to start off just by saying that was really nice what you did for those residents, talking about making the contractors more accountable and standing up for them when the contractor error was at fault. Today makes 134 days since the raw sewage almost destroyed my home. I came here 2 weeks ago pleading for help in recovering the almost $100,000 that my family is having to pay to fix the mistakes of your contractors. I gave you copies of all the works I've done to get a resolution to the situation in a 2-inch thick binder. Here's mine. I had to go back and watch it, and the only actual suggestion given to me at that meeting was for me to find out who Davis's insurance was and for me to file a claim through them. More for me to do. Is this what's expected from the citizens of Tinley Park when your contractors make errors? I was under the belief that you supported the people who voted you in better than that. Mayor Glotz, last week you said to me, and I quote, We will get together with the Public Works and get the attorneys involved, and we will have some kind of resolution for you by the end of the week. I received so many phone calls, emails, and messages from people who had no idea this was even going on and saw the board meeting online, which currently has over 1,300 views. Many people were dying to know what the resolution was. I did receive an email from you the following day, thank you very much, and it said, I spoke with the owner of Iroquois today, and he's out of the country. He promised to work on this daily to get a response. I've heard nothing else from you. I know John Obransky sent an email that he had spoken to Mark Moylan, my insurance person as well. I really feel that the village has done minimal to address the situation. I reached out to the village, Iroquois Paving, and Davis Concrete immediately. I filed the appropriate claim forms on day one. I took multiple photos and videos to document all the damage. Since September, I have exchanged more than 60 emails and countless phone calls with either the village employees or the insurance companies with this situation. Last week, as if it couldn't get any more ridiculous, Davis Concrete has reached out through Iroquois Paving's insurance carrier, wanting to know if I had any of the debris that caused the blockage retained for their inspection. As a citizen of Tinley Park and registered voter, I'm sickened by the fact that I am now being asked to obtain and present material from a city sewer, just to prove that I'm not lying. This, to me, proved that we are in this fight alone, and clearly this shows that there's been no effort to try to resolve this issue when still nobody's claiming responsibility. Mayor Glatz, on December 8th, you sent me an email and said that you said, I quote, "You are a very high priority and first on the list to get this resolved, hopefully sooner than later." I spoke with Iroquois Paving on Friday, and they are in contact with Davis Concrete. Again, as a community member and registered voter, I'm concerned that our situation that was the first thing on your list as of 58 days ago still is no closer to a resolution. It also shows that you've already talked to Iroquois Paving, so I don't really know what to expect at this point. I have sent numerous FOIA requests trying to obtain more information to try to help us fight this. One FOIA request I sent asked for a certificate of insurance that Iroquois Paving provided to you, the hired contractor, for the street resurfacing program, and also for copies of documentation, what the village requires for subcontractors or third-party contractors. What I received from you was a copy of the contract between Iroquois and the Village of Tinley Park. The same contract I already have a copy of and submitted in this binder. I did not receive any insurance. I then sent FOIA requests hoping to obtain reports, emails, and communication between the village and Iroquois Paving or Davis Concrete in regard to this program, specifically the work completed at the location in my neighborhood. And I asked for records dated between September 24th, the day of our sewer backup, and January, the day I filed the FOIA. I also sent another FOIA requesting reports, emails, communication between the Village of Tinley Park and Robinson Engineering, the civil engineering firm for this project, from July to January. And I sent a FOIA request for a copy of the inspection report regarding the work done on the computer, on the sewer, to see what the city inspector found. The response I received for all three of these was, quote, "At this time, the Village of Tinley Park does not have any records that are responsive to your request." So you're telling me you're in contact with them, but now I'm hearing I have no documentation of any contact. I don't know what to believe. Davis Concrete and Iroquois are both heavy commercial, and there is no incentive to resolve this without insistence from the village. Have these contractors been paid in full? Has 10% retainage fee been paid? And if so, why is this still not resolved? Today, I brought with me the additional very few emails I've received just to be able to make that binder that you have as complete as mine. It's the FOIA requests and the emails. With all the development happening in Tinley Park and the plans for the future, the voters of Tinley Park are watching, Mayor Glatz. When a contractor error occurs that causes such destruction to private property, you need to be supporting the citizens, all the citizens of Tinley Park. We want to know that the person in charge of our village supports us with actions, not just words. I get these flyers talking about keep fighting for us, the best place to live, keeping our community strong. I believe these. I really do. But my family and I are fed up and are done with handling this alone. This is not fair. We should not be out anything. You hired this company that made this mistake. You have the responsibility now to make us whole and then go after the people responsible, the people that you hired. If you cannot help us, we have no other choice but to go to the media or seek out what legal options we have. If we do not have a set resolution in place by February 18th, 2 weeks from today, we'll be forced to obtain legal representation and file suit. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Joy.
Who can I give these to? I don't know if anybody's looked at the binder, but here's some additional papers.
So just to add to that, Joy, so for FOIA, has nothing to do with the board. The board doesn't see the FOIAs, no one on the board is in charge or handles FOIAs. These are part-time jobs, the staff handle that, so as far as.
I
the
have
board-
a full-time job as well,
I know,
so
I'm just
just so
saying,
you
that
know.
we're not in charge or have anything to do with FOIAs.
Where is the documentation that you've spoken to these people?
I have no idea what you submitted, that's what the staff is for. We don't handle FOIA, the board, not, when I say we, not the staff handles it. When it comes to FOIA, the board doesn't see the FOIAs, the board doesn't handle the FOIAs.
I understand that, but I
And
would
so-
think if somebody from the village of Tinley Park spoke on our behalf, saying that what is happening, oh, we're fighting for you, we're fighting for you. There's no documentation, and where is the inspection from the sewer? They came and inspected ours because they spray painted a big okay right in the middle of my driveway, which I can't get off.
I don't even know what your FOIA, so I will get a copy of it.
I have all of the copies, you can have them all, and I've submitted
I'll
them.
have make a copy of it. And as far as that, yes, we didn't have the resolution, but unfortunately, John, like I said, John was on vacation, who's in charge. Colby, I think, was here, was it Colby here, or was it someone else? Colby was here. And since then, I'll let him talk about it. Yes, they did force a meeting with the contractor, and they did meet. I don't remember if it was today or yesterday, but yes, they finally got them out there and got a meeting. So I'll let John take it from there. Unfortunately, we are part-time officials. I'm just like you, working full-time. We all have full-time jobs, that's why we have staff. So John got back from vacation. He was stuck in Florida because they had snow. They didn't know how to handle it, and his plane got delayed. So I expected him to be back earlier, so he came back, was it 3 days?
Friday night, midnight.
So that's why we said by the end of the week, he was supposed to come back that
Wednesday.
night of the meeting. He didn't get back until Friday because Florida doesn't know how to handle snow. So I apologize for that, but.
He reached out to me from his vacation, which I did tell him, like, thank you, that's so nice, but he should not have to be doing that on vacation. I would think
doing
you have
it
all this
because we
staff.
do care, just because you haven't had the answer. I can't speak on the particulars. I'll let John, because he's the one that's handling it.
So, as the mayor says, I was finally able to get the owner of Davis Concrete, one of the owners of Davis Concrete, to meet us out there yesterday. He re-inspected the manhole on Almond Lane. We were presented with a resistant point of view from his side. And, again, we continue to push at these contractors to try to get some type of resolution for you. Again, as I've mentioned in the past, it's up to the insurance adjusters and the insurance agency that they have to come up with what their belief is on, ownership and responsibility. And
But it's been 134 days. We are out $100,000. I told you last time, we drained our children's savings accounts. We had to take out a mortgage on our home. And everyone's apologizing. I shouldn't be out anything. This is your responsibility. You should make this right. You should make us whole, and you should go after them. Where is the 10% retainer fee? That's what this is for. You have years of history having contracts with these companies.
And as I mentioned in the past, retainage and that kind of stuff is based on their workmanship of the project that they were contracted to. These types of incidents do not go against retainage or payment. We can't deduct it from the retainage, otherwise we'll be in a lawsuit ourselves.
So I'm just out of luck, 134 days, and I'm still on my own doing this.
No, that's not what he said. He said they just met with them
And,
today.
and he said there's resistance and we're still at no answer, correct? We still don't have a resolution. Did they ask you for asphalt from the sewer, or was that just something I was supposed to
No,
provide?
They asked us for it. As I mentioned to you, we have televised footage of the sewers prior to the work that was done. There again is doubts in their mind that the piece of concrete that potentially started the block came from work that they have done. So, outside of a forensic analyst to decide where that piece of cement came from, they're putting up resistance against what we hypothetically are feeling that may have caused that block and where it came from.
So we just keep playing this game where it goes from Davis to Iroquois to you, to Davis to Iroquois to you, and in the meantime, I'm paying over $1,000 a month in a mortgage payment that I shouldn't be having to have?
probably
It's a
more-
lot of I'm sorry's. You need to make us whole. This is not our fault. I should not be out $100,000.
Ms. Galvin, we can't just write a check because someone said something happened. It's just like if there's a car accident, right? Nothing happens until it goes through the insurance companies. We're beholden to them. This is kind of more of an attorney question. If they're not going to, then we are gonna have to hold them accountable of some sort.
That's
And-
what I
and-
thought should have happened already. You sat here with this family, this poor family going through this porch situation, telling them everything we do is for our residents. This is gonna set a pattern. Same for Iroquois. I feel like we're saying, oh, yeah, they're fighting. When I met with you, that was October. Nothing, we're no further close. How much long do we have to wait?
Someone that built an addition outside of the norm, and this is a totally different conversation. We legally, even if we said, yes, we want to, the board can't just legally say, finance, cut a check for $100,000. The insurance company has to go through it, and I
If
think.
this was one of your homes, any one of your homes, would this still be an issue 134 days later, or would they have made it right by now?
Be the exact same thing. The insurance company is the one that makes these decisions, not us. I mean, it's more, Bill, you could probably add more than anyone to it. I don't know how the insurance works. That's,
If it wasn't their fault, they would go, again, they'd go through a process called subrogation. If it was outside of their control, they would subrogate against Iroquois' insurance policy to get that money back. You don't have the coverage for that, so the company denied it. Your only recourse would be legal recourse, so.
And that's where we're at this point.
And that's.
And I don't want to do that. I came here asking for you. I've trusted the process.
But-
I'm very disappointed, and people are watching and people are listening.
I know it's not acceptable.
Please don't laugh.
No,
This
I'm
is
not
my
laughing.
family.
I know you think it's that easy. We, unfortunately, do not handle the day-to-day operations and all your communications or phone calls with someone. We're bound by the insurance company, and
I have a 2-inch thick binder of all of the work I've done for this, and when I've FOIA'd, I've come back with nothing. So I don't know what you've done. What have you done
You have
besides
my-
make phone calls?
you have my emails. That's what the staff handles. The village board does not get involved in the day-to-day operations. That's why you have staff. So if you did, I don't know what you FOIA'd, I don't know what emails you didn't receive or did receive.
I've gotten none from all of the FOIAs you could see, Mr. Carr. All I asked for was communications. I just want documentation, like what's being said, what are you guys doing, what are they doing? More, and honestly, the reason I FOIA'd it, because I wanted to see what Iroquois was saying. I wasn't doing it to like ding you guys. I want to know, what's Iroquois and Davis doing? What's the holdup? And to find out there's no where is the inspection report? Somebody had to have inspected it. There's no documentation?
On behalf of some of your FOIA requests, there is no documentation because it is face-to-face communication or phone calls. There's no documentation on a phone call. Yesterday's conversation, there's gonna be no documentation other than a meeting.
But for 134 days and a person in your town who has $100,000 of damage, nobody's documented anything? That tells me it's not being taken seriously. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, Mayor Galatz and Board of Trustees and the people of Tinley Park.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure.
Go ahead.
My name's Chaz Davis. I'm with Davis Concrete. While we sympathize with the homeowner and what they're going through right now, I'm here to deny the notion that this is contractor negligence. We weren't here at the last board meeting where that term was thrown around often. But this situation falls out of the scope of our work. So the fact that the speculation that this is contractor negligence continues to be brought up, I'm here to defend that and to tell the board that we are denying that it is contractor negligence. So while I sympathize with the homeowner, I'm here to defend Davis Concrete and let you guys know that that's the way we feel. And through our investigation and fact findings with my partner Chris in the meeting yesterday with John Urbanski, that is where we stand.
Who did the work?
We did
Around that
concrete work. We don't do sewer work. We didn't do sewer work on this project.
So you guys didn't do any work around the manhole?
We did the concrete apron. We poured the concrete.
That's where the manhole is on the concrete apron.
We don't touch the manholes.
But
Chris is handling the facts of the matter. He's been in discussions with Mr. Urbanski, and he can answer any further questions you may have.
I wish you would have let us know that you were coming, and, so we could have had more facts of this, because you guys did all the work around the manhole. So you're 100% certainty that you guys didn't hit the manhole, didn't chip anything, didn't hit anything?
Like I said, I'm not here to discuss the details or the facts of the matter. I'm here simply to deny the notion that this was contractor negligence on behalf of Davis Concrete. Thank you.
May I jump up there?
You're technically not supposed to. Can I? Hold on. We're good, guys. We're good. Can I have a motion, please, to let Ms. Galvin come back up and have 3 minutes?
I will make a motion to allow 3 additional minutes.
I don't even need 3 minutes, I'm not gonna argue, I'm not gonna argue, you think, fine, this is their fight, because this is your people that you hired. But my independent sewer contractor, who met with you and many other people, said that it was moved, it was verified with the use of Google Earth that the manhole frame was shifted east between 6 and 12 inches. It was not a chip.
And where did you get that from?
Our independent sewer consultant who met with Mr. Urbanski and, I don't remember everybody who was there, it's in the binders. But I have, it said it was, the result was a manhole that was aesthetically centered within a concrete square, but not centered on the manhole itself. Do you remember that, Mr. Urbanski, when we opened the sewer and saw that? That's all. I don't need the full 3 minutes. I know you said you didn't have, I don't know how you don't have the information, because I've already submitted it all, and I know you said you've made a lot of contact, but that was from, and that was the independent sewer contractor that we had to hire because we were not believed from the city.
Thank you. Anything to add to that, John?
No.
Anyone want to comment?
Nothing to add.
Well, if I may, I don't understand how you can stand up here, sir, and say that I don't have the facts, I don't have the details, I'm just denying it. Shouldn't you have facts and details to tell you why you denied it?
Like I said, Chris Davis is handling the facts of the matter. That's on his desk. If you guys have any other questions, Chris.
Well, why didn't he come tonight?
He couldn't be here tonight. I'm here to represent Davis Concrete.
But the whole problem is, I think you just made it worse. You would have been better off not saying anything, because you're not representing the village, and you're not representing Ms. Galvin to say, you know, we deny it. So, that's even more disturbing. John, in the next 24 hours, I want a full report of everything sent to the entire board, because this is even more disturbing. That he came and just, well, we're denying it, but won't discuss it.
Sir, are you an attorney?
Me?
Yes.
I am not.
Okay, thanks.
So, again, Ms. Galvin, by the end of this week, John, I need you to, we're gonna contact, are you here tomorrow?
I am.
Okay. Will you come here and please talk with Luann tomorrow and discuss this? And see what our options are? Just made it worse. So, sorry. John, come in there if you want to Zoom me in. I'm at work, I'm working 1 second, ma'am. I'm working 6 days a week, 10 hours a week, but I'll be more than happy to, I'll join in if you need me on a Zoom call or something. And I'm not gonna go into details, I have an idea, but, so, John, just schedule something, include me in on it, and please send an invite to Bill Brennan as well.
Okay.
So,
And if you put those in there, that's every email I've had, I have the copy of the contract, I have the copy of the independence report, that original binder, I have been keeping all of this, I have photographs, I have links to the videos, everything is in that binder I provided. So if that helps.
you leave your number with Miss Valley sitting behind you, please?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry, go ahead. Can you come up to the mic?
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. My name is Vicki O'Malley. I'm a 38-year resident of Tinley Park. I've been involved in Tinley Park High School. I'm involved in Andrew High School now. I'm a retired 20-year employee of Panduit. So I'm very well known in the community. I live 3 blocks from Joy, and I never knew this was going on. Her daughter, my granddaughter, play on the same basketball team at Andrew. And she never said a word to anyone until she was here and I saw it. I am appalled. I am totally appalled. And I know it's just my opinion, but that these people have had to go through this for 100 and what?
134 days.
Really. I love Tinley Park, and I admire and respect every one of you in the village. But I am disappointed in all of you to let this family, did you see the pictures of the sewage in their basement? They have children. Do you have his attorney? Do you have his attorney's name? Because I swear I will get everybody in Tinley Park together to get money for the best attorney for this family. I am appalled, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Ma'am, we're just as appalled, and if you know anything about how government works, unfortunately, we're the face of it. We're not here every day making the decisions, and when it comes to insurance, the biggest problem in most of everything we do is insurance companies. And that's why I made that comment now where you got a senator getting involved in changing insurance, which is gonna make us like California. You won't even be able to afford your insurance when Hastings is done with that. Words can't express how sorry we feel for her. But we unfortunately are stuck, because legally, until an insurance company makes a decision one way or the other, we cannot legally disperse just funds, right? And that is the problem. We are stuck by insurance. Insurance is the biggest problem. How many times you have a family member, someone gets into a wreck, and they don't have a car? Oh, well, you didn't have coverage to have a loaner. So then you have to go out and buy a loaner, and it takes them 2 months. And then they find out, oh, well, there's something else wrong with the car. We are beholden to insurance companies, and we don't have the legal authority to just say, you know what, she was wrong, which I do believe, and everyone on this board agrees that she's been wrong. I've seen the videos myself. It's horrific. There was a bunch of things that happened. It's not her fault. The fact that it took, I think, 4 hours for her to call Public Works. Any other homeowner would have did the exact same thing. You called the plumber, and you just hoped that maybe something internally you could fix. That wasn't the case. So by the time you wait for you call in a plumber in the middle of the night, he comes out to your house, and then he figures, yeah, well, I can't fix it, and then you call Public Works. It's the same steps that any one of us would have taken. Unfortunately, everything happened at the wrong time. It was the rain was just horrific. We got so much rain at the exact same time. If we didn't get as much rain, it wouldn't have been as bad, but unfortunately, every single possible bad thing that could have happened for her and her family all happened at the same time. But I'm glad you spoke up. We're appalled, and the comments made it worse, not from you, Ms. Galvin. And then to just be blindsided and just have a contractor come and say, well, we deny any liability, is, it couldn't have been it's probably the worst thing you could have possibly done, in my opinion, but anywho, just John, schedule a call with your schedule, with Luann and Bill and I, and we need an immediate, resolution for the Galvin family of one way or the other. Someone's gotta take ownership and responsibility of this, because I'm sick and tired of hearing, it's not my responsibility, it's not my responsibility, and then these comments just really just made it worse. And then I need you to stay in contact, John, with Ms. Galvin, to keep her updated daily, please.
He's been great with communicating with me.
I know.
I just have to say, thank you.
I just want to make sure we're on this, it's said publicly, you have it. I need him to stay, even if it's bad, I just need him to keep you updated every day, because I'm sure it's wearing on you. So anything we could do to try and alleviate it. So we'll get on a call tomorrow and we'll see what transpires and get back to you what our next steps are. And then you should probably include Eric Way on the call too.
I have contacts of all of their people at West Bend. Carrie Iskin is the current claims adjuster. All of that's in the record.
I don't know what West Bend what
That's
is.
the insurance claim.
No, I know, who's West Bend? Is it ours? Is it theirs?
Iroquois.
Okay. Okay. Any other public comment? Debbie? All right, is there any executive session? Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call for adjournment, trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Brennan?
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney?
Yes.
Trustee Mueller?
Yes.
Trustee Shaw?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you. We are adjourned.